As the world celebrates Day of International Mother Language, experts say it is through the mastery of the first language or mother tongue, that the basic skills of reading, writing and numeracy are acquired. Theme for this year is towards sustainable futures through multilingual education. Mother tongue researcher and advocate Ocholofu Aboje joins us for more. Thanks for coming on TVC News. I hope I got your name correctly.
Yes, Ocholofu Aboje.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
Now, 17 years we've been celebrating this mother tongue. How important is it, and has it made, first of all, has it made as much impact as it should? That's the essence of it being brought to light in the first place. Has it made as much impact for 17 years?
Okay, well, for 17 years, and then looking at what we have now, we wouldn't exactly say it has had a lot of impact, because as much as the world is becoming a global village, you find that a lot of languages are going extinct. You know, a lot of local languages are going extinct. You have software now that are able to translate languages, you know, in real time, which means that the drive or the motivation to maintain local languages is not as strong, you know, as it used to be 17, 20, you know, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
But to maintain these languages, it has to be an ongoing effort. We have a lot of people in different spheres that are doing a lot to ensure that our local languages don't go extinct. There are different platforms now that, you know, individuals can learn, you know, local languages. So in as much as we haven't had a lot of impact in that area, we still believe that we can reverse the trend and, you know.
How do we reverse the trend, looking at the fact that the world has become a global village, like you rightly noted?
Well, yes, like I mentioned, you know, there are different platforms out there today that help individuals globally, you know, learn local languages. I personally know of a platform, Native Smart. This platform will help anybody anywhere around the world, you know, learn African languages. But we're not just focused on African languages, because languages cut across different cultures, you know, all around the world. So we're trying to see how we can make, you know, languages still relevant in schools, especially from the very early stage of schooling, primary school for Nigeria. You know, so if we can ensure that as many people as possible learn some of the subjects, you know, in their local languages, we're trying to see if it will have a better impact than them, you know, trying to learn a subject and at the same time learn a language, you know, so.
But how do we bring in the parents here? Because this are the first contact you have when you are born, and they are the ones that can put you through your language before you get to school. Very
true. Now, I think it was a title I saw not too long ago, excuse me, that talked about mothers without tongues. Yeah, you know, growing up in my family, we were not allowed to speak English at home to our parents. We had to speak our local language, you know, for me, Idoma. Now, that meant I learned, you know, Idoma from a very young age. But most parents today really don't see, I don't know if it's the need, you know, to teach their children, you know, the local language, one local language or the other, whichever it is, maybe from the mom or from the father. So from them, you know, the parents absolutely do have a major role to play in ensuring that local languages don't go extinct. You know, it doesn't really matter whose language, it could be the moms or the dads, whoever it is, just teach, you know, the kids one language or the other, just to make sure we keep, you know, our languages alive.
So what is your advocacy, or rather as an advocate, how are you ensuring that parents do not forget this role that they have to play?
Well, one of the major things we do at Native Smart is to ensure that since a lot of kids and a lot of parents today are more technology savvy, we're trying to take languages, local languages to technology, which means anyone anywhere around the world can log on to maybe a website, an application on your phone, and then you learn whatever language it is you want to learn. Okay, so this is ongoing, of course. You know, the platform now has about 3 languages. We're looking at adding a lot more African languages. Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba.
Now, you know, these are the major languages being taught in schools.
Sure.
So how about the other minority, if I may use the word?
Good.
Languages?
Now, there are certain challenges that you would have, you know, with minority languages. Talking about having a critical mass of people who still speak such languages, and then not just people, but people who are able to speak, write, and then, you know, create literature in such languages, translate books, you know, into their languages. You know, so finding these people sometimes it's not easy, you know, and that's why we're working towards, you know, translating a whole lot of other languages like Nupe, you know, There are languages, you know, from the north, languages from the south, Ibibio, Efik, you know, all these languages. We're looking at working with people, be they in universities, professors, you know, lecturers, to see how we can get most of these languages onto the platform so that anyone, anywhere around the world can learn.
So if I understand you correctly, you are saying that the mother tongue is crucial to education.
Yes, it is crucial to education. Why? Because at a very young age, children learn very fast, you know, and that is the stage we believe they're able to learn a whole lot of languages, because the moment you reach a certain age, your capacity to learn and absorb and keep information tends to drop. But at the early stage, they take in a lot, you know, and we believe that that will be the time to catch them young, to teach them, you know, different languages. You find kids, some kids who really put their heart into it, they could speak up to 5 different languages, you know, and then there is this bias towards, you know, international languages like Italian, French, as against our local languages like Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba,
so how do we make it attractive?
Exactly. So what we're trying to do to make this attractive is, you know, there are different initiatives we're rolling out. We're rolling out things like debates in local languages. We're rolling out things like essay writing in local languages with very, very juicy, you know, incentives, so to speak, you know. So just to get these kids to love their languages, to want to learn them, you know, and then making it easy at the same time. Most of them spend time on their phones, their iPads, you know, so that's the platform we're reaching out to them on. Okay, so on their phones and their iPads, make it a lot easily accessible for them anytime,
so
anywhere.
Looking at the future, how do we lash on this opportunity to ensure that maybe in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, we achieve what we are trying to achieve with the mother tongue?
Okay, of course, on that, all hands will definitely have to be on deck, you know, from local founders to the government. I understand early this year, I think it was sometime in January, the information of the Minister of Science and Technology, you know, made an announcement about teaching science and mathematical subjects in local languages. Now, even though a lot of people find this feel it's interesting and maybe a bit too late, but we still believe that it's something that could still make an impact, you know, and with time, if the government, you know, backs the private sector who are doing a lot, backs NGOs who are doing a lot, you know, to ensure that we don't, you know, lose the essence of our local languages, then we can have a lot of traction, you know, in the years to come.
All right, mother tongue researcher and advocate Ocholofu Aboje, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.